Welcome to Time of Death. This video is for informational purposes and in no way meant to glorify or condone violence. In today's video, we'll be discussing the murder of Juan Carlos Sanchez. Sanchez was shot and killed Sunday, April 19, 2009 in the 6200 block of Newell Street in Huntington Park, according to LA County coroner records. Magali Villalobos and James Delton Paredes were subsequently arrested and charged with the murder. The following is the evidence at trial. Juan Carlos Sanchez, known as Scrappy, attended a birthday party for Luis Valenzuela on Newell Street in Huntington Park on the night of April 18, 2009. A number of guests at the party, including Sanchez, were members of Florencia 13, and Valenzuela's family's home where the party was held was known to law enforcement as a location where Florencia gang members congregated. Between midnight and 1 a.m. on April 19, 2009, a black pickup truck with 4 or 5 men and 2 women arrived outside the house where the party was taking place. Only Magali Villalobos had been invited by her friend Elizabeth Rios, and she had been told to come alone to the party and not bring any men with her. James Paredes was one of the men in the truck. The men, including Paredes, were members or associates of 18th Street, a rival of Florencia. Paredes was wearing a black and white Oakland Raiders jersey with the number 18 on it. While the driver waited or perhaps searched for a parking space, all the passengers got out of the truck, and several of them walked down the long driveway toward the backyard party, quickly looked in, and apparently saw men they recognized as Florencia gang members, and then walked back up the driveway. According to her testimony at trial, Elizabeth Rios and Juan Carlos Sanchez also walked up the driveway following the uninvited guests. One of the men from the truck, bald and wearing the hood of his sweatshirt up covering his head, came back towards them and asked Sanchez, "Where you from?" Sanchez did not respond, instead started to turn back toward the party. The man then shot Sanchez several times in the back of the neck, lower left shoulder, and lower left back. Sanchez died as a result of the gunshot wounds. Janet Gutierrez, Villalobos' cousin and the other young woman in the truck that night, testified at trial that she and Villalobos had stayed near the curb after getting out of the truck, talking to Villalobos' friend. The men walked down the driveway, came back and re-entered the truck except for Paredes. Gutierrez heard several gunshots and then Paredes got into the truck. As they drove away from the scene, Gutierrez saw that Paredes had a gun with him. James Paredes and Magali Villalobos were jointly charged with the murder of Sanchez and shooting at an inhabited dwelling, including a gun enhancement, and that the offenses were committed for the benefit of at the direction of a criminal street gang. Villalobos was alleged to have been a minor who was at least 16 years old at the time of the offenses. Paredes was also charged with several drug and firearm offenses arising from a different incident. He pleaded not guilty to all charges. The court granted Paredes' motion to sever the additional charges from counts 1 and 2, as well as to sever his case from Villalobos. Following the trial, the jury found Paredes guilty of first-degree murder, including a gun and gang enhancement. He was found not guilty of shooting at an inhabited dwelling. Paredes was sentenced to an indeterminate term of 50 years to life in state prison. Magali Villalobos was convicted of voluntary manslaughter. She was sentenced to 15 years in state prison. Juan Carlos Sanchez was 29 years old at the time of death.